This is OpenNMS 101 again, Module 11, Part E, Cleaning the Tutorial Metric. Tutorial metric data, as currently configured, is clumsy. Adding a new line to the snmp extension script will require a mod to data collection/tutorial.xml. There is a better way. Use indices based on the instance ID to store the data. The snmp extension definition in etc snmp-snmp-d.conf does not have to change, nor does the snmp extension script user local bin tutorial.collector.sh. Changed the data collection and storage definition in data collection/tutorial.xml. Use the mib2-host-resources-storage group in data collection/mib2.xml as a template. The tutorial's group name will be tutorial instances, and IF type can remain all. The MIB object definition will not change much, except that the instance will be defined as tutorial as opposed to an actual instance number. Add the group to tutorial.xml. The instance tutorial needs to be defined as a resource type. Flip back to mib2.xml and look at the resource type HR storage index. The label and the resource label are used with resource graphs. For tutorial data metrics, use the label tutorial, and the resource label will be the index, which is $, open curly brace, index, close curly brace. The persistence selection strategy can remain as it is for HR storage index. The storage strategy does not need to be as complicated as it is in HR storage index. Look down a few lines in the file and note that the resource type HR storage non-unique uses a storage strategy of index storage strategy. Use that. Return to tutorial.xml and add the resource type. Finally, the group tutorial instances needs to be added to the system-def tutorial. Save and close the file. Touch datacollection-config.xml so OpenNMS will reread the data collection config. After a small bit of time, check the RRD repository and note that a new directory, tutorial, has been created. This is the resource type name assigned in tutorial.xml. Underneath that directory are 3 directories, one for each instance as an index. This is the index storage strategy at work. Beneath each index are the files required to store the random alias just defined in tutorial.xml. Although new data collection elements have been defined, data collection has not stopped on Tutorial 1, Tutorial 2, and Tutorial 3. After a bit of time, check Tutorial 1 and check Tutorial Index 1 random. The data matches. Check Tutorial 2 and check Tutorial Index 2 random. The data matches. Check Tutorial 3 and check Tutorial Index 3 random. The data matches. So tutorial data collection between the node level data and the index stored data matches. The key point is that OpenNMS is not using multiple SNMP walks to retrieve the tutorial and random data, since both use the same OID. To configure OpenNMS to display the random aliases, edit snmp-graph.properties.d/tutorial.properties. Create a new report, tutorial.random.demo. Configure it as follows. The name is similar to the previous graph, only it is in the singular. The column is the file name random. The type is the resource type from data collection/tutorial.xml tutorial. The RRD tool graph arguments include the title, which is singular, and the vertical label, which is singular. The def variable, and there is only one def variable, is random, which is taken from the random file's random alias. Use the average consolidation factor. Line 1 uses the variable random and the legend random. gprint uses the variable random. Save the file. Return to the GUI and localhost. Click on the resource graph, select the node level checkbox, and click Graph Selection. View the last week of data. Scroll to the bottom to the previously created tutorial random numbers graph. Note the random 1 begins on or about June 17th, and that random 2 and random 3 begin collecting on or about June 20th. Return to the resource graphs for localhost. Scroll down to the tutorial section and select the checkboxes for 1, 2, and 3. Scroll back up and click on Graph Selection. The random aliases only just began collecting, but the graphs are there. Edit the script user local bin tutorial.collector.sh. Add another output line to the script. Run the script to test the output. After about 2 to 3 minutes, the data collection for the fourth line of output should be started. Look at the RRD repository for Node 1, localhost. At the node level, there is not an additional RRD file for the fourth output line. There is, however, a fourth index directory under tutorial for the newest output line. Check the resource graph for tutorial. Note that there is now a fourth checkbox. Check all four and select Graph Selection. It may take a few minutes for the graph data to appear for the fourth index. Remove the tutorial 1, 2, 3 data collection configuration by editing datacollection/tutorial.xml and removing the tutorial group and the tutorial group inclusion in the system.def element. Save and close the file. Touch datacollection-config.xml to force OpenNMS to reread the data collection configuration. Then edit snmp-graph.properties.d/tutorial.properties and remove the report reference to and definition of tutorial.demo. Save and close the file. Data will cease collecting for tutorial 1, 2, and 3. Thereafter, remove the tutorial 1, 2, and 3 RRD and meta files. Up next, Module 12, Thresholding.